today is going to be about mandatory voting in national elections. At my left, I have the affirmative side, and my right, the negative one. Affirmative side shall begin.
Hello, my name is Letícia Rebelo and this is my partner, Cecilia Carrillo. Our proposal is citizens should be required to vote in national elections. To start, the terms to define are mandatory voting. It's an effect of laws which required eligible citizens to vote in national elections and may impose penalties on those who fail to do so. Political party. Organized group of people with same beliefs who field candidates to elections in an attempt to get elected. Voluntary voting, when the population can choose if they want to vote or not. Initially, voting is a fundamental right of any citizens that enable them to choose their leaders of tomorrow. As you can see, voting is crucial to activating the democratic process, and knowing that a lot of American population is not fulfilling their right by not voting. So democracy is not being fully achieved. So, if vote was an obligation, America would be a much more democratic country. In many countries, the minimum age for voting is 18 years. Voting not only enables the citizens to vote for a political party, but also helps them to realize the importance of citizenship. Many people that do not vote believe that one vote will not make a change, but it does. In a nation, it's formed by using elections. Voting is crucial to activating the democratic process. We understand that everyone should vote, because everyone has an opinion. But if not everybody votes, not everybody is being heard, so that's not a democracy. For this reason, compulsory voting has the potential to increase voter turnout. As you can see, in 2012, just 53.6% of Americans turned out to vote according to Pew Research Center. Compare that with 87.2% turnout in Belgium, where voting is mandatory. In addition to Belgium, 25 countries make national voting mandatory. Second, compulsory voting has the potential to do more than just increase voter turnout by encouraging voters to be informed about the candidates and issues. According to a recent analysis by Jill Shepard, in countries where compulsory voting is strongly enforced, the population scores well on the political knowledge questions hailed from all education backgrounds. Not so in other countries, including the ones where mandatory voting is less enforced. Most well-educated voters tend to be much better informed than everyone else. The less educated voters tend to be left behind.
Can you give me any other examples from countries other than Belgium that has compulsory voting?
Australia and Turkey are countries that has mandatory voting.
And can you tell me who is Jill Shepard?
Jill Shepard is a political scientist and survey researcher at the Australian National University.
Thank you, that's all.
Presentation by negative side.
Hello, my name is Nicolas Oliveira and this is my partner Diogo Almeida. Our proposal is citizens should be able to decide if they want to vote in national elections. For first, we have terms to define. The first one is democracy, which is a system of government based on freedom and giving power to the people, in which the eligible members of a state typically do elections choose representatives. The second one is individual freedom, the absence of restraint on our ability to think and act for ourselves. Well, since the democracy is based on freedom and giving power to the people, the population should be able to choose what rights to use and which not to. So, compulsory voting should not be adopted in national elections. There will be no benefit from doing it, and actually will just bring disadvantages. For first, compulsory voting is likely to exacerbate the already severe problem in political ignorance. Making voting mandatory to the US will increase the number of politically uneducated and uninformed voters, increasing the risk of bad decisions on who represent the citizens on the state. As Jason Brennan affirmed, compulsory voting just floods the polls with ignorant or misinformed voters. The second thing I have to present is voluntary voting will guarantee people's freedom. Because mandatory voting is a violation of our civil rights, just as denying a citizen to vote is a violation. Casting the vote is a speech. It is showing support or opposition to a candidate or proposal. Making voting mandatory means voting is no longer a right, it's an obligation, it's forced speech. As soon as you make voting mandatory, you are taking away the citizens' right to decide whether they want to express the political ideas in a vote. Thank you.
Excuse me, who is Jason Brennan and where did he say that?
Jason Brennan is the Georgetown political theorist, and he said that on his article, The Democratic Argument for Compulsory Voting, with a guest appearance by The Real Reason, the left advocates compulsory voting.
Okay, thank you.
Now, rebuttal by affirmative side.
You said that when voting is compulsory, you are taking away people's right of liberties because they should decide how they want to exercise their citizenship rights. But according to Emil Chapman, the right to vote is based on the idea that we need to make public decisions together. She thinks that there is a tendency to construe voting as formal expressions as opposed to participation in collective decisions. As well, it will make people take elections and candidates more seriously. Compulsory voting would influence the people to be more proactive in building a government that will serve the majority, not only a few groups. This will make United States a better and more united nation. Besides that, mandatory voting creates more economic reforms that favor and benefit minority groups. In a 2013 study concluded that 1% increase in voter turnout led to 3% reduction in income inequality since new legislation favored the poor. This is incredibly impactful, since reducing income inequality directly benefits minority groups who disproportionately earn less and are treated worse in the current system.
Well, you have cited research during your speech, and I would like to know who did that research and where do you found it?
Who did that research was Professor of Political Science at Loyola University Chicago, Vincent Miller.
Okay, thank you, that's all.
Now, rebuttal by negative side.
One of your arguments is that the voter turnout would be a lot bigger if voting was mandatory, but that not necessarily is true. One of your data, you showed that you compared Belgium and the United States, but that doesn't make that much sense because you're comparing two different politically educated countries. And according to a research made by the Department of Politics University of New South Wales, they did that research in Australia that they had a 93% of the population voted. And with that research, they concluded that 87% said they would still vote if it wasn't mandatory. That would only vary 6% and it wouldn't make such a difference. So you can't say necessarily that it is going to increase the voter turnout. And you can also see that not necessarily mandatory voting will encourage people to learn about politics and politicians. Because there's a research and an article written by Peter John Lowen, Harry Milner, and Branson Hicks called "Does Compulsory Voting Lead to More Informed and Engaged Citizens?" An experimental test, where in 2007 they got students from Quebec in Canada. In 2000 they got 121 students and they divided them in two groups. Half of them needed to vote and half of them didn't need to. And after that they made a research about the knowledge, and by comparing knowledge and engagement measures between the two groups, we can measure, they could measure that the second order effects of compulsory voting were too little to have such effects. And also, by Jacqueline Dirks, majored in politics at New York University, she said that forcing people to vote won't really make them interested nor educated on the subject. It will only work to lower the electoral quality.
But Australia is a different country too, as you said, at Belgium and United States. And could you please explain that with your own words?
Yeah, I can. Actually, basically what happens is, when you make someone vote, they're not doing because they want to vote. So no one do what they want to do, what they don't want to do. So it's not just because you're telling them they gotta vote, that they're going to study and research throughout all those things and actually be interested in it. They will keep on voting without caring, just to not pay a fine or anything like that.
Okay, thank you.
Negative side shall conclude.
So in conclusion, there's no upside on making voting compulsory. It will only take away the population's freedom and rights to do what they want, without actually helping the society in no way, because it won't have any benefits, as we said in the beginning. So clearly, voting should continue voluntary in respect of all Americans that want their rights fulfilled. And thank you, that's all I have to say.
Affirmative side.
In conclusion, a lot of people around the world complain about the politics in their countries, and many do not have the option to change it, but you do. The youth of America can make decisions that will affect the nation. If you have problems in the way America is run and you still do not vote, you cannot complain about the government, because you are the one who's in fault, not them. I hope that after listening to this debate we have helped you realize the importance of voting, because with the power to choose what happens in this country, we make America stronger. You personally can make America a strong country by making the electoral process better, and that means voting. Thank you.
Thank you all. That's it for today, and have a good morning.